Hey, hi guys, good morning. So welcome back to the other session of AWS. So in the last class, right? So we have talked about what is EC2 instance and how to create the EC2 instance, what are the different components involved in EC2 instance and why it is working for and how it works, what is the building blocks of EC2 instance and all those stuff. Right. So now today, we are going to talk about the connectivity with the AWS instance. So how you are going to connect to the instance, how can you access the instance, what are the different ways of accessing an EC2 instance, and how can you start, how can you stop, how can you shut down the instance and all those stuff. So let's get started. So this is my AWS console, which right in front of your screen. So I'm going to click on EC2, which is a recently visited widget, and I'm going to launch an instance. So I'm going to take any flavor of instance. So it might be anything, it might be Windows, or it might be Linux or anything. Okay, so I'm going to launch my first test server. So I'm going to name it as a test server, right? So this test server, I'm going to choose Amazon Linux itself by default, and it is free tier eligible, and it is T2 micro, and I'm going to choose my key pair, or let's create one. Click on create new key pair, and I'm going to give the name of test key, and it is rsa.pem, and create a key pair. So key pair will be downloaded here. So just review your network settings. If anything that you want to change or modify, please go ahead and click on edit button. So here we need to select in which network my EC2 instance has to be launched. I'm going to select my subnet preference, which is in AP South -1B, AP South -1A. So we have three availability zones here. That means three different subnets. I'm going to choose this instance in 1A. Okay, so a public IP is enabled. So I have my existing security group. If you don't have, let's create one. So I'm going to select my learning security group. And if you scroll up, you will be able to see the storage configuration. We are with 8 GB, which is default one. I don't want any advanced details. So we are good to go. We have selected a key pair and we have done with the storage and all the stuff. So let's click on launch instance, right? So when you click on launch instance, the instance creation will be started. And then how can you confirm whether the instance was created, and how can you confirm you are ready to log into that instance and you are going to do some actions accordingly, right? So here, if you see, you have a lot of columns. The first column names as the name of the server, the instance ID. So of course, every instance will be created with a unique ID. The state of the instance, whether it is a stopped one, whether it is a terminated one, whether it is just started or initializing, pending or running, all the different states will be appeared over here, right? So here you have the instance types, a lot of metrics that is, for that particular EC2 instance, a lot of metrics has been created. So all those metrics will be shown in this particular data record. So here we have instance type as T2 micro. So how can we confirm the instance is ready and we can able to connect? So right, we can see the status of the instance is in running. Okay. So one more thing that we need to we need to check is the status check of the instance, right? So the status check is very important, which is on the server side and on the AWS side, the system side, whether the status check has been completed, you will be able to see 2 checks passed. So that means your instance is fully ready to work on anything. You can log into the instance and you can work on anything, any operations that is required for you. So if you want to see the status check as 2 check, you have to wait for 1 or 2 minutes. Of course, it doesn't stop me for connecting to the instance. So let's try to connect. So just select the server over here. So there are two different ways of connecting, to the EC2 instance. One is with any third-party tool, any SSH client tool. When I say SSH client, it is basically a software which is used for connecting to the virtual machines with a protocol called SSH, right? So let's see what are the different list of softwares that we have in the market, right? So the very famous one is Putty. So Putty is a software which will help us to connect to different servers. It might be anything, Linux, Ubuntu, CentOS, anything. So, and when we have Windows instance up and running, so we can use RDP, Remote Desktop Protocol, which is by default, it will be installed in all the laptops, all the Windows laptops. And if it is Mac OS, you better install a RDP package. And if it is Linux, though you can access RDP. So here in my case, I'm going to use Linux machine, right? So I need to connect with either Putty, or we have one more tool for connecting to Linux machines called GitBash, right? So GitBash and Putty both are terminals that will help us to connect to the virtual server which we have created in AWS account. So what I'm going to do is I'll show you how to connect with Putty as well, and I'll show you how to connect with GitBash as well. So before that, I need to download these softwares, right? So I need to get these softwares from the Google. So I need to download this Putty. Along with the Putty, of course, by default, we are creating the PEM files. So we need to convert this PEM into PPK format files, right? So how can we convert them? So we need to download another tool called PuttyGen. Okay, so this PuttyGen is a software which will convert the existing PEM key files into the PPK format. So what I'm going to do is, let's go to the Google and type Putty download. You will be able to see the official org page of Putty. When you click on it, you will be able to see this page and click on download Putty, and you will be redirected to another option where you can see based on your operating system, you can download whether it is Windows, you can download 64-bit installer, and you can download exe file, you can download P-Link, PuttyTel, PSoft, and PGen, anything. So any software that you can download from right here. So in my case, what I'm going to do is, and since I already have the Putty, so let me check whether I can download the PuttyGen. If you see, this is the PuttyGen, right? So of course, my laptop is 64-bit laptop. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this EXEC hotlink. So I'm going to click on it. So where I can find my PuttyGen software will be downloaded, and it's a EXEC file. So what do you mean by EXEC? You just click on it. It will ask for you some confirmations. Click on, sorry guys, click on next, next, next. Of course, the software will be installed on top of your laptop. So here, why this PuttyGen we need to use, right? So since if you see my search bar, I can type Putty. So I can see Putty and PuttyGen exe files, right? So I can open this PuttyGen, and this PuttyGen is an interface which will help us to convert the existing PEM format files to PPK format. So how can we do that? So you just click on this load option. So which means you are loading the key, the PEM key, right? You are loading this PEM key, and here it is not filtering with PEM. It is only filtering with PPK because Putty only works on PPK. So now what I'm going to do is I'll select all the files, right? So here I can see testkey.pem, right? So I'm going to click on it and open it, and see successfully imported a foreign key, right? You have to save this foreign key in the format of a private key. So click on OK, and here you see an option called Save Private Key, right? So click on it, and are you sure you want to save this key without a passphrase to protect it? If you would like to go with a passphrase, set up a passphrase for it. If you don't like it, just click on S and go ahead and give a same name for the better convention. So test key, which extends with PEM, now it's going to extend with PPK, right? So now save. Okay, so done. We are good to go. So now we need another software, which is Putty. So where can we get that? If you see the very first link you can see here, Putty EXEC. If it is 64-bit computer, just click on this. You will be able to download Putty software. Since I already have Putty installed on my laptop, so what I'm going to do is click on search Putty, type Putty. You'll be able to see the Putty laptop which is installed, and I'm going to open this Putty software. And here I want to connect to the EC2 instance which I have created, which I have launched right now. So let me go to these details. What is the dashboard of Putty and how can we? So guys, you see here, you have a session, you have a terminal, you have a window, you have a connection, you have SSH. So these are different 5 sections that we need to concentrate. Session is the very first stage where you can save lot many server sessions without every time if you want to reload, if you want to give the host name and all the details. So to avoid that risk, we are going to save each and every session once we connect it to the server, so that when you just open the Putty and you click on the session, automatically it will be connected to the server. So that's how the Putty is advantageous, right? So terminal. So what keyboard you are going to use, what is the line editing. So all these options you can see here. Windows. So it means the appearance, the text, the colors, the transition behavior. So everything that you can set up in this window. The connection. So how you are going to connect to the instance, right? So let's go to the session now. So let's see how to connect to this EC2 instance right now. So go to this Amazon console, select the server and take the public IP of the server, which is very important for connecting. I have my public IP and I'm going to put it in PEM software, paste it, and the port number is 22, that's fine. And so what is the connection? The data. Here, it's better you can give the username. What is the login username of your server? If you miss giving this username, once you logged into the system, of course, it will ask for a username and password, okay? So here, but without providing username, you cannot go ahead. So here, what I'm going to do is EC2-user, which is a default user for Amazon Linux. So I'm going to log in with this particular user. Now go to the SSH section and load the PPK file where you have saved it. If you click on this plus symbol of SSH, it will expand, and underneath that you can see a auth directory. You don't have to click on plus symbol here, just click on auth keyword. So you will be able to see an option which basically asking us to load the PPK file. So here when you click on browse, right, so it will redirect to the downloads and converts. So I have test key PPK. I'm going to load it into the Putty. Hey, done. We are good to go. So let's open the terminal now. Click on open. So it will ask for a confirmation for the first time. This is because the key that you have added is not added into the cache memory. And next time when you are connecting with that, it will not ask this confirmation. So let's accept this. See here, using username called EC2 user and authenticating with the public key, which is an imported open SSH key, right? So here the server that we are using is Amazon Linux AMI, and this is the EC2 user is the username, and this is the private IP address of the server. So we are in the server. We are in the server, which is the server just we created. So how can we confirm whether I have connected to the proper server or not? You can compare the private IP address in your console. You can just see here 172.31.41.194. So 172.31.41.194, or else you can directly type hostname -I, hit enter, you copy this IP address, go to your console, Command F, Command V, it will auto find your IP address in your console, right? So you have connected to the Linux machine using Putty software, okay? So this is how the way you have to convert the existing PEM key into the PPK by using PuttyGen. You have to give the proper settings. The host name should be your public IP address. The auth should be your PPK key, and you can customize your terminal. So, so let's see how to connect to the same server with the help of using another tool that we call it as GitBash. Okay, so just go to the start bar and type for bash. I'm going to open my bash terminal. So what I'm going to do, I need to connect to the EC2 machine, right? So I have downloaded and converted my PEM. So I will go to the downloads folder since that will be downloaded over there. And I'm going to SSH-I, and the PEM key is test-key, right? So test-key.pem, and I'm going to use the username called EC2 user at the rate, what is the IP address, the public IP address of the particular server which you are using. Okay, hit enter. Yes, give a confirmation, and I am going to connect to the server using this PEM key. Okay, hey, oops, we are in. Yeah, it is EC2 machine, which is an Amazon Linux 2 AMI. Here also you can confirm with the same command, hostname -I, copy the command, go to your console, command F, command V. You can see that it matches with the existing server. Okay, great. We have seen two different ways. So how to connect with Putty, how to connect with Bash. So there is some extra work that you need to do when you want to connect with Putty. You need to convert PEM format into PPK. Okay, so if you need to convert PEM file into PPK file using PuttyGen. Of course, if you don't want to convert, okay, let's say, okay, sir, I have PEM-P and I have to convert it. Can we create directly a PPK file instead of PEM? Yes, it is possible. Go to EC2 console and scroll down this sidebar. You will be able to see key pairs here. I don't see key pairs. Yeah, it should be in network. Yes, key pairs. And you can create a key pair and give a dummy name that should be test-1. Here, instead of PPK, you can select, instead of PEM, you can select PPK. Okay, so here you have the use case as well. When you're using this with Putty software, you need to use PPK. And when you are using with your laptop's open SSH package, because if you are working on GitBash, that GitBash is going to access your PC, your laptop file system, right? So there, if you want to use open SSH, then you need to choose this PEM format, right? So when you want to connect with PPK, when you want to connect with Putty to the EC2 machine, you need to choose this .ppk extension, right? So my intention is to create a PPK file right now. So I have selected PPK and clicking on create a key pair, right? So the key pair is created, which is with test1 extension. Okay, so okay, that's good. But a few more interesting concepts that I need to discuss with you. Can we change a key pair once it is attached to the EC2 instance? That's my question. So, and the answer is a big no. You cannot change it once you attach it to the server. But only one thing that you can do is you can take the backup of the EC2 instances and you can use a different key pair instead of the attached key pair, right? So we will see that in the next session, which is pretty interesting concept. So let's stop it right now. I hope you enjoy this session. If you want more AWS videos on my channel, please don't forget to subscribe and like my video. Thank you so much for your support. Have a great day. Bye-bye.